Have you ever suddenly felt that life was very tiring at a certain moment? I don't know what's wrong with today's society. Technology is obviously more developed, people have worn AI glasses to travel around the world, and ordinary household vehicles can also travel around the world, accelerating to 100 kilometers in 3 seconds. The richness of life has far exceeded that in the past, but more and more people are anxious, whether in marriage, society, or work. This is particularly prominent among young people. A young lady collapsed and screamed on the street. No one knew what she had gone through.
Being a mother is a bit harder.
Alright, explain.
Being a mother means you have to work harder and to take care of children.
If you're a father, you don't need to take care of kids, right?
As a father, you could do a bit less. There's nothing you could do about it because you're a woman.
The credit card is about to expire. It's 8,700 this month. Transfer the money to me.
Money, money, money. All you do is ask for money. How can I have so much money?
Why are you so angry? If I don't ask for money from you, who should I ask money from? Where else can I ask for it? Then what do I want from you? You don't need money to live? You don't need money for daily necessities? The 2 kids don't need to eat or drink? Do you think it's just because of how much money you make? You're getting arrogant every day. I've tolerated you for a long time. Don't you know what I hoped for at the beginning? If it was money, do you have it? If it was romance, do you know how? A dog wants to be comfortable while basking in the sun. What do I want? I endure it again and again, and it's not that I really can't live without you. It just means that I know how to cherish you better. I think it's hard for you to make money, and I'm not lazy at home. If I didn't have to take care of the old and the young, I would still go out and make money. Do I still need to be humble and ask that money from you? If you're going to have that kind of attitude, then please consider our relationship. Either give me the money, give me love, or get out of here.
I now really feel that the younger generation has more pressure than our generation. Their material conditions are better, but mentally, they are more nervous and stressed, and their lives are even more stressful. There's more turmoil. They live in a hurry and work in a hurry. I think young people today are suffering more than we did at that time. Societal stress is growing. In the face of such powerful social institutions, the individual appears smaller and smaller, and he becomes more and more powerless and helpless. The house price in Beijing is 100,000 yuan per square meter, and a year of work only earns you 1 square meter. That's a source of anxiety.
Recently, a report on the health anxieties of young people has sparked online discussion. 90% of young people worry about being ill. The online discussions have topics like afraid to get sick, can't afford to get sick, and the relationship between health anxiety and work pressure. In 2022, iKang Healthcare Group, a high-end chain of health checkups and health management in China, collaborated with the public account U36KR to investigate the health status and attitudes towards health of 1,422 young people in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and other cities. Their 2022 Youth Health Anxiety Report shows that over 90% of young people feel that they are not healthy. Among them, Gen Z are particularly lacking in confidence in their health, giving themselves only a 6.28 health assessment score. Nearly 80% of young people believe that taking sick leave will delay their work. Over 70% of young people say they cannot afford medical expenses, and about 18.8% of young people choose to endure health problems. When asked why they do not seek treatment, the top 2 reasons were work delays and the high cost of care. In addition, data also indicates that in the past 20 years, the incidence of mental disorders and depression in China has been increasing explosively, and the patients are getting younger and younger. In February 2023, the National Mental Health Assessment and Development Center of the Institute of Psychology at the Chinese Academy of Sciences released the China National Mental Health Development Report for 2021 to 2022. The report shows that the detection rate of depression risk among Chinese adults is 10.6%. Among them, young people are a high-risk group for depression, with a detection rate of 24.1% for the age group of 18 to 24, significantly higher than other age groups. The detection rate of depression risk for the age group of 25 to 34 is 12.3%, also significantly higher than the age group of 35 and above. The age difference in the detection rate of mental anxiety risk also shows a similar trend. Why do these young people show signs of illness early? Surveys show that excessive work pressure is a major source of stress for these young people. There is a unique phenomenon in modern Chinese society that work is becoming more and more demanding. For example, competition in the modern workplace is extremely fierce, overtime culture is prevalent, and coupled with soaring housing prices, career development pressure, and other real problems, young people are facing unprecedented mental pressure. The team at the China Youth Research Center once released a survey report on the mental health of young people aged 14 to 35, among which 53.6% of them have anxiety problems, and the anxiety score of young working people is the highest. According to a survey on Weibo, one of China's largest social media platforms, among 24,000 netizens, 80% feel particularly anxious on Sunday nights. Feelings of depression, frustration, chest tightness, loss of appetite, and headaches and discomforts start to appear as early as Sunday afternoon for some. Some respondents revealed that they feel anxious about facing weird colleagues and workplace mind games, while others said their anxiety stemmed from having not figured out how to meet their performance goals for Monday's meetings. Liu Feng, who lives in a small town, was diagnosed with depression just 4 years after graduating from university and entering the workforce. She believes that this is primarily due to a misfit of values. Liu said that her thinking is more westernized. Believing in universal values and freedom, equality, and civil rights, she feels that everyone should be treated equally. But at work, this kind of thinking is criticized as admiring foreign things. Moreover, Liu Feng, who has an open personality, does not like to blindly obey at work, let alone flatter her superiors. As a result, she has been marginalized by her immediate supervisor. She said that during the weekly meetings, the leader would single her out and subject her to psychological humiliation. In addition to public humiliation, Liu Feng said her supervisor also sexually harassed her, which she rejected. This made her supervisor even more dissatisfied with her. Therefore, the mental abuse she suffered over the years has been like a nightmare, but due to the continuously declining economy, she is not confident she can find another job after resigning, so she has to endure it. Finally, in March 2023, she was diagnosed with depression. While some young people in China are coping with work pressure, others face even greater pressure after losing their jobs. 23-year-old graduate Joy Zhang said that in the past few months, she has had 5 jobs, including working as a tour guide in a travel company, selling hot drinks, and interning at a kindergarten. She admitted that these jobs do not have good prospects in the future, the salaries are low, and it is easy for workers to be replaced. Zhang's hometown is a small mountain village 400 kilometers away from Chengdu. She is the first person in her family to attend university. Her father is very proud of her and once held a banquet with over 30 tables to celebrate her academic achievements. Zhang said that her parents hoped that she would have a better life after graduating from university, with a better job and income than their generation. However, the current job market in China has made Zhang's parents very worried. Experiences similar to Zhang's are not uncommon today, as there is an oversupply of graduates in China. Zhang said there are 32 students in her class, but since graduating in the summer of 2023, only about 1/3 of them have found full-time jobs. According to official data from August 2023, more than 1/5 of young people in China aged 16 to 24 are unemployed. After that, the government paused releasing any youth unemployment rate data. Tian Yu, a recent graduate in software engineering, said that although the skills he possesses are very much in demand, there are too many graduates with similar resumes, making it difficult for him to find a job. Many people are looking for jobs, but few have found them. Many lucky people who have found positions are working in jobs unrelated to their professional skills. Zhao Di, in her 30s and living in Shanghai, said that the pandemic has shattered everyone's dreams over the past 3 years. Now, whether it's private businesses, state-owned enterprises, or foreign companies, they are all facing a great crisis, and massive layoffs are common. Those who can afford to choose to lie flat and do nothing, while those who are burdened with millions of yuan in mortgage debt feel hopeless or terrified every day. In view of this, some people have completely stopped looking for work and have chosen to return home to become full-time children, doing household chores or taking care of young children at home to earn a small amount of money. The BBC interviewed a young woman who did not want to reveal her name. She had returned to her parents' home in rural China. She said she cherished a different life from working in the city. Although it could not last forever, she's content with the present. Xiang Biao, a professor of anthropology at the University of Oxford, believes this phenomenon is not only a problem of jobs, opportunity, or income shortage, but the shattering of dreams and motivations. In the long run, young people's disappointment will become disillusionment. At the same time, Beijing is also worried that this crisis will worsen, and the rising dissatisfaction of young people will pose a threat to the ruling Chinese Communist Party, CCP. Therefore, Chinese leader Xi Jinping has called on young people to learn to suffer, and urged graduates to do physical labor, asking them to roll up their sleeves and engage in blue-collar work. Ren Ruihong, who has worked with youth mental health projects in China, explained to Radio Free Asia that there's a strong link between the high pressures of survival and the unstable social environment and the severe human rights issue in China today. Wang Xia, who lives in a rented room in Beijing and is underemployed, said the first thing she said to Radio Free Asia was, "I almost jumped off the building yesterday afternoon." Wang Xia graduated from university 3 or 4 years ago. Her recent onset of depression was due to a quarrel with her mother over the phone. She says she cried and shouted at her mother for a long time. Then she went to the balcony, opened the window, and was about to jump off, but luckily her boyfriend stopped her. Wang Xia has been arguing with her mother for several days, namely about human rights issues in China. After graduation, Wang Xia left her hometown to work in Beijing and continued to participate in human rights and public welfare activities. In the past 2 years, China's human rights and legal situation has rapidly deteriorated, but Wang Xia has overcome her inner fear and has repeatedly participated in assisting dissidents and young activists, including calling for the rescue of those arrested during the blank paper movement in China. Through this, she has experienced a lot of trauma, leading to anxiety and depression. The White Paper movement originated from the Nanjing University of Media and Communications White Paper Action on November 26, 2022, commemorating the Urumqi fire in Xinjiang, spreading to a nationwide wave of demonstrations against the zero-COVID policy. It was named after local people who raised sheets of white paper to represent their restricted speech. However, Wang Xia cannot relieve her inner pain and pressure by talking to her family. On the other hand, psychological counseling services in China were expensive, and many so-called doctors do not have qualifications. Therefore, Wang Xia has not been able to receive good psychological counseling and treatment. In addition, the instability of her job and meager income also make her feel extremely insecure. She can only take antidepressants from time to time. Luckily, she has her boyfriend for company, spiritual comfort, and encouragement. Wang Xiao's boyfriend, Xiao Sun, is also the target of strict monitoring and repression by his school. Xiao Sun said that he initially became a dissident in the eyes of school leadership because he refused to install the National Anti-Fraud Center application on his phone as required by the school, and opposed the program's collection of users' personal information. During the 2022 pandemic, Xiao Sun's university was locked down from August until the outbreak of the White Paper movement, a full 4 months. However, all the lockdown regulations imposed by the school were verbally communicated by teachers without any written documentation, which put students in a difficult position. Xiaoshun petitioned for information from the school's party committee office, requesting the publication of relevant policy documents related to the pandemic prevention and school closure. At that time, he also consulted a lawyer, but their private chat on WeChat was discovered by national security, who approached the school security to investigate him. Under tremendous pressure, Xiaoshun had to give up his inquiry. Later, the counselors specially arranged for a party member in the same dormitory to monitor him and report his activities at any time. This made him extremely anxious. He said that someone was watching him all the time, he had no privacy at all, and he had no sense of security. Another source of anxiety for Xiaoshun is the enormous pressure of further study and employment. He said, "On the first day of school, the dean gave a speech to new students. He said it's basically impossible for students of our major to find a job after graduation, and the only path is further study. But the rate of entering graduate studies is so low that everyone's desperate." In short, youth mental health worker Ren Ruihong thinks that economic pressure is high, social security is lacking, and everyone in China is worried. This has pushed young people into a distorted state where they can't see hope or find emotional relief. Most people's resilience isn't strong enough, so when it reaches a breaking point, this negativity spreads and causes a societal depression. As mentioned earlier, Liu Fang also revealed that now, whenever you open social media, everyone is venting their negative energy, and almost everyone has some kind of crazy idea. This mental illness has developed to the stage where it's no longer a personal problem, but a group trauma. Commentators believe that this depression was exacerbated by lockdowns and various public reactions to it. Xi Jinping's re-election, the woman found chained in Suzhou, the bus incident in Guangzhou, and other political and social events. Finally, with the Urumqi fire and the young people taking to the streets, it erupted. Although these protests give the young people some comfort, the brutal suppression by the Chinese government in response once again pushed them into the abyss. Some analysts suggest that there are societal issues within China with a portion of the population displaying undesirable behaviors. They emphasize the need for a multifaceted approach to address these issues, suggesting that individual efforts to cultivate positive behavior could contribute to gradual societal improvement.